Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Ace, and it's so nice to see you again, or nice to see you for the first time. Today, I am trying something a little different. Today, I am trying to render, which is something I've never done, as well as try to make a hyperpop type of artwork. Now, I need a model for this, of course, and who better to draw than my very own character? Me, Ace. I haven't drawn Ace in a while, and I felt like it was time to finally do some drawings of her. I will say I enjoyed this drawing very much. This drawing we're doing right here is my rendered drawing, which I quite adored. I was going to try the using a paintbrush when I was doing this and do that instead of doing my line art right away, and I decided I didn't like it. For my line art, I am trying something a little different, a little new that I don't do, because I always thought it just didn't look good when it came to me doing it. But what I'm doing here is, instead of just using black line art, I took the colors that I'm going to be placing, and instead I just did a darker tone of those and used that as my line art, which I think that actually turned out really nice, and I was very surprised by it. So here I am adding in some colors. I enjoyed the hair as usual. If you don't know me, which you might not, you might do. I love drawing hair. It is one of my favorite things in the world to do. But so here we have me honestly looking a little scary. And here's my first type of rendering, first area I did, which was the hair. I added in strands of hair, just in a slightly darker tone. I then learned that there was a brush I could use, which added in those cool little circles. I eventually didn't like my eyes, so I decided to change them up a little bit, make them just look just better to me. Here I am trying to now do my highlights and shadows. Also, I did do blush. I used orange because that's something I just think looks a lot nicer on colored people, whichever color you are, to be honest. I think orange blush looks beautiful. I wanted to go with a green background and try to add in some green highlights into the hair. Eventually, I didn't like it, and I just continued on just adding highlights where I wanted them to be at. I then decided to go with the red, and I did put an overlay of pink upon my character. And here is my final piece for my rendered artwork. I will say there are a few things I could have added, as well as I did forget my earring, but all in all, I really enjoyed making this piece. I really enjoyed figuring out some new brushes that I had, and once again, all my artwork is done on Procreate, so if you ever have questions on what the brushes are, ask and I can instantly tell you which brushes I used for this entire piece. I had a lot of fun. So now let's move on to the next piece of artwork. Now we are going to be doing the Hyperpop style. So I just took the exact same thing that I had from my last artwork. I do not have any of the shading at all in it. I didn't take any of that. All I did was just take my colored thing with my line art and just continued on. I've noticed that when it comes to Hyperpop, they use a lot of colors that complement one another. So I grabbed yellow, purple, and blue, and I figured my character was enough for the pink. And for my shading, I decided to try magenta. I also continued on with my orange blush, and for highlights, I went with a more yellowy tone. So instead of my character being more on the pinker side, instead she's more on the yellow side. I changed up the eyes to make it match more of the style of art we were doing. And I discovered that there is a pencil in Procreate that acts a lot like a colored pencil. So I decided to use that to my advantage, and I decided to add in some darker tones of my shadows and make it have a bit more of a feel to it. More like you can actually see that there's something going on. And I decided to add that into my skin, all where I have, not highlights, but all where I have shading. I decided to actually go with the green background for once. And then I decided to add in that colored pencil into my hair to give it more dimension. There was my word, I found it. I fixed up a few things since I did mess up my one of my layers on accident, but I fixed it all up. And I noticed that with Hyperpop, they tend to add like stickers. I think it's to give more of like the childish feel to the Hyperpop. So I decided to add in some stickers myself. It was a little tricky to figure out how I wanted them, but here soon you'll see me adding in a, what was it, XOXO sticker and some heart ones, which took me just a little bit. I didn't enjoy how they looked initially, so I just changed it up and just left it with zero line art. And I did some things in the background as well. I used that brush one more time, that brush that does those little mini dots and all that. I forgot what the brush is called. I believe it starts with an H. But I decided to use that brush again because I did notice that was also used in a lot of Hyperpop art. I put it in the background with some blue, and then I just took random colors that I had, so such as up top, you can see there's the blue in my hair. I decided to add it there, and I just did that with all of it around, even with my ring. And I had a lot of fun with this one. I love the fact that you can see on like the cheek where I added that oh my gosh, I want to say cross hatching, but it's not cross hatching. It's just me doing random like lines. But I do like the fact that you can see that. I had a lot of fun with that part. And all in all, I really like how my character does look in this style. Granted, it's my first time doing the style, so there is quite a bit to improve on. By quite a bit, I mean a lot to improve on. But I think she looks really nice. She looks extremely happy, and that was mainly the goal, and I believe that's mainly the goal with Hyperpop, is to make the character look like just they're popping with energy. And I think I did a really good job with that. So, I really like this artwork. I hope you really like this artwork. If you did, please do give this video a nice thumbs up. And if you would like to, please do give me a subscribe. I do hope you have a fantastic day and I hope everything goes your way. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.